Hello! It's been 2 months now on T, and it's been interesting so far. I've noticed more changes. So now my girlfriend is going to ask me some questions, and I'm going to answer them. And also my girlfriend, she's voice interpreting for me. So thank you, girlfriend. I have a name. What's my name? Shannon. Clancy. All right. Okay, so first question. So she said, what changes have you noticed lately? I've noticed the thing I've noticed most is that I've gotten a lot more hair, like little tummy trail. And I noticed that the first month, not so much. I had some hair on my inner thigh, and then the second month I started to notice more that I got a lot more hairy on my legs. Like you can see, I don't know. It used to be just up to there, and now it's growing. It's sort of creeping up my leg. Interesting. You know, I'm deaf, so I can't really tell, but my girlfriend says that my voice has started to change. She says that sometimes it's low, sometimes it's still female. If I sneeze or cough or laugh, she says it sounds low. But when I try to talk, I suppose I still have my female voice. I don't know, it kind of goes back and forth. So we kind of play around with it. Most of the things are the same as before too, like sweating a little bit more than I used to. Some other stuff that I'm not going to really go into right now. Okay, so next question. What's stayed the same? I guess the sweating has been the same. Like, I haven't noticed facial hair yet, no chest hair. But I definitely noticed more hair like in my armpits, and stuff that was already there has gotten thicker, I suppose. But the first manly thing I noticed was on my stomach. Manly hair that I noticed was on my stomach. And also I noticed kind of my scent changed. It's definitely more of a strong masculine odor. I've had to wear a lot more deodorant, and so I feel sort of bad for people that I might be killing them with my BO, knocking them out. Okay, next question. Is your transition affecting your relationships at all? A little bit, I suppose. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Can my girlfriend give me an example? Any relationships in general. Not just our relationship. Not just my relationship with my girlfriend. Yeah, people have become a lot more curious about what's going on with me. Like, when I go to work, I work with clients, and for example, one time, the client's boyfriend, his staff, we talk a lot, and he says, "Wow, you look different." And he so, sorry, we got cut off. Her phone rang, and so stop getting phone calls. Okay, so like I was saying, the guy that my client's dating, his staff person, we don't work for the same agency. Anyway, when the staff that I've known them for a long time, and we've been friends before. So he typically, like, he often comes up to me and says, "Wow, you've changed a lot." They've known me throughout my changes, and they've been, people have been talking and stuff. So obviously they know what's going on with me, and it's kind of annoying. I mean, like, people, including this guy, ask me questions that are really private, like about my, private parts and things like that. And if they ask me other stuff, it's okay. But they sort of already know, and they want to know more, like the more real, like, deep, detailed stuff. And it's like, they're kind of invading my privacy, I guess, in a way. It feels like it just sort of depends on the person who's asking. So that's one thing that affects my relationships. One of the next questions that we were going to talk about are those inappropriate questions. What should people know about how to approach you, what not to ask, or how to ask certain kinds of questions appropriately? So, for example, like, I've been out at a bar before where we're in a big group. There's some people that I haven't seen for a while, and they come up to me and they're like, "Hey, how you doing? How's it going?" And I can tell, if I tell them about that, but then they start asking me stuff that's, like, really personal and private, and I'm like, "Hey, come on. Like, it's in public. I don't want other people to know about this. Like, if there's other people around, like, that I don't know, and they're going to start looking at me weird, and I just don't want to talk about that kind of stuff in public." So if you, think about what you're asking. If you know a person is in transition or transgendered, and you want to ask them questions, don't just, like, come out with it right away. Kind of ease into it and say, "Can I ask you a personal question? Is that okay?" Maybe sometime at a certain time, somebody's not going to want to talk about it, but just to go right into it and be like, "Hey, can I see what's under your clothes?" I mean, that's how it feels to me. It's just an invasion of privacy. And also in public, it's just not appropriate. It's just because that person might, if you ask them those personal questions, maybe they're trying to pass at the time. Maybe they're trying to just be who they are instead of having to answer questions about, being trans, what's going on with their body. And like when you introduce a new person to somebody like me, don't say, "Hey, this is my friend Jay. He's trans. He used to be a woman." Just say, "This is my friend." And if that person wonders and, kind of has questions themselves and wants to know, is that person a woman or a man, they can ask the trans person themselves. If they ask me, wait, say it again? Sorry. For example, if this is Jay here, and the person is looking at Jay and saying, "Is that a man or a woman?" Don't say, yeah, he used to be a woman. Have them ask me themselves. It just feels sort of, I don't know, how would you feel if somebody asked you about something personal that you didn't want people to know about? I mean, it's just like that. It's just a very private topic. So I just would ask for your respect. Don't say, "Hi, my name's Jay and I'm deaf." Don't, because that's not how I label myself. "Hi, I'm Jay and I'm trans." I don't do that. That's just not the first thing I want people to know about me, or, something that I just want to make a point out of. Okay. Next question is, how have your family and friends reacted to your transition? My friends, for the most part, have been supportive. A few, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 people, have had a problem with it, and I've just sort of cut them out, and I don't talk to them anymore, because I don't need that negativity in my life. My family, it's a different story, because they're my family, and I can't cut them out. I've, just been trying to take time with them and give them time to get used to the idea. My mom and my older sister, and my younger sister too. My littlest brother, he doesn't know anything. We're not telling him anything right now. But as far as my mom and my 2 sisters, my grandparents, whatever, they all live in another state. So I care, yes, but I primarily care the most about my mom and my sisters. At first, they were very unaccepting and resistant to the idea. They wouldn't say male pronouns. They wouldn't call me Jay. They wanted to call me by my former name. And I had a hard time with that for a while. We hadn't talked much since April. So it's been about 4 months, and I've just kind of been waiting for them to come around to the idea. And so recently something really touching happened. My sister wrote a blog about me and talked about how she felt, talked about memories she had about us growing up together as sisters, because we're very close in age and we were very close as we grew up. And my 14-year-old sister and my 9-year-old brother, I mean, we're just, kind of a different generation, so they weren't as close to us. But my older sister and I, she would stand up for me as we grew up. She's hearing, so she stood up for me when I got picked on for being deaf, all that stuff. We went through a lot together. And, when we were teenagers, we started to grow apart a little bit because we both had our own lives. I went to the deaf school. She had her own stuff. But then she had 4 kids, and I would go and help her with her kids. And this past spring, when I told her that I was trans, she really had a hard time with it. And so she wrote a blog about it, and as I read it, it talked a lot about how she wasn't sure what was going to happen in the future. She was really confused about everything, but that she had decided to give me a chance, give it a chance, and support me, and not, overnight be able to, say my brother and he and all that, but she was willing to give it a try. And so, that was really touching, and I cried. And after that, I had read that, I actually went and saw her. My girlfriend and I went and saw my family that same night, because we were saying goodbye to my stepbrother. He was going back to Germany. He lives in Germany. He's here visiting. So we went out to dinner, and it was a really good discussion with my whole family. My mom started realizing that she needed to make a decision. She needed to decide to either embrace it or, cut me out. And, if she was going to say, like, I'm just going to keep denying your identity and call you a woman and all that stuff, she knew that it would destroy me, and she was afraid to lose me, and she didn't want to do that to me. So it was a really great discussion. They asked me questions like what bathroom I've been using and all sorts of other stuff like that. It was a good start. It was like a baby step, and that's cool. My dad, he's been supportive, but he lives in South Korea, so. And then my biological father, he lives in Washington State. He's also supportive. And they've been calling me their son, and that just happened really right away. But we're not in the same area, so they're far away. But so far, things have been going at their own pace. I've started making new friends, some new trans friends. I went to a workshop last weekend that was amazing, and I just feel like it's a new start to my life, and I can't wait to see what happens in the future. I guess that's it. I think over the past 2 months, things have been going great. It's been hard, yeah, it's not easy, but I will see you next month and let you know how it's going. See ya.